Yes, top-level cricket returns tonight. England play the first in a series of T20 and one-dayers against the mighty Australia. As we said, we focused a lot on England and the changes they've made. But what of the Aussies? What sort of squad have they brought over? Here to tell us more, Aussie cricket expert, one of our own, Jarrod Kimber. Good afternoon, Jarrod.
Hey, fellas.
So, yeah, are you excited to talk us through? Maybe there's a couple of names in there that the England cricket fans won't know amongst the Aussies.
Jake Fraser McGurk, is that a good place? It sounds like he's an English cricketer, by the way, and went to a really nice school and he's a batter from the south. He's maybe one of the most fascinating cricketers in the world. He just made no runs against Scotland, so he may not play, although I think they want to see him against the bigger teams as well. But he's maybe the most exciting player in world cricket if you guys get a chance of having a look at it. He has a technique unlike anyone else I've ever seen, and he's essentially a baseballer playing cricket. So if you get a chance to watch Jake Fraser McGurk, it may not last for long. Some of his innings only last about 7 or 8 balls, but he manages to make about 30 runs off them. So a lot of fireworks if he gets a game.
I've definitely seen him back. Presumably he must have played in the Big Bash.
Played a little bit in the Big Bash, and he played in the IPL. Probably had his best
the IPL. That's
maybe in the IPL. Yeah, you would have seen him. It was a point at which like you just thought he was either going to hit a 6 or get bowled every ball. Like I don't think cricket's quite seen a player on the sort of Fraser McGurk level yet at the moment. His teammates call him the Rooster. He certainly likes to hit the ball very hard, but as I said, he hasn't been making runs, so unfortunately he might not go in. The rest of the team, not quite. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Fraser McGurk is the most exciting thing, and I'm hoping he plays. They've got pretty much a full-strength batting lineup outside of him, and then with the bowling, it's a little bit more having a look at a couple of guys. They've got Sean Abbott, who's obviously played a bit for Surrey, and Xavier Bartlett, who they've got very high hopes for. Xavier Bartlett bowled a really good spell against the Scottish team the other day as well.
This will be our first sighting from an England point of view of Tresco ball, which doesn't slip off the tongue. Tresco ball, does it, Jarrod? Unfortunately, it'll be interesting to see what we get from the interim coach before Baz McCullum takes over.
It's I don't think professional sports in such a weird situation because he knows he has to go out there and coach, right? But he's not going to make any impact. And no matter what he says, McCullum's going to take over in a couple of days. Anyway, it's so weird. We have all these like phony things in professional sport now, but like, someone's coaching for the last game of the year. We need to be really excited, like knowing they're not going to get the job for next year anyway. So yeah, it's a bit of that. I suppose Phil Salt as well, he's also going to be involved for England. So there's a few different things. I did notice that a lot of the, in a lot of the betting markets, Australia was a massive favorite. We don't actually know how England are going to play, right? They came out of the World Cup in such disarray. Despite the fact they made the semi-final and Australia didn't. I think anyone who watched that World Cup would say that Australia played the better cricket all the way through. And Australia's come through with this really good reputation, and we don't know what England is about to do, and they're all waiting for Baz to come over and tell them to bash sixes again.
Yeah, I thought Australia were the best team in the World Cup as well, but they didn't win it, so what can you do?
You were saying that Fraser McGurk didn't get any runs, but Travis Head and Mitch Marsh went to town on Scotland. Are they looking good, Nick?
Travis Head's one of the best white ball players, definitely. He's a brilliant player.
I don't know if you guys caught the game. I think it was the first match against Scotland when they hit 14 consecutive boundaries.
Really?
And I'd actually, you like this story,
the world record.
Yeah, my son came in and I was like, you got to see this Fraser McGurk guy. You got to see Fraser McGurk. And he watches Fraser McGurk literally not hit a ball off the square and then go out. And then I walk out the room because I'm bored. And he comes in, he goes, I think you need to see this. This guy called Travis Head can't stop hitting 4s and 6s. It was one of the most brutal, over and a half or 2.5 overs you'll ever see in cricket. And Travis Head's been doing it everywhere, right? He did it, in World Cup semi-finals. He's been doing it in test matches. A couple of years ago, Travis Head looked like, he couldn't find a run in international cricket, and he's gone from that to maybe the most explosive player consistently in the world across all formats. There's talk of him opening the batting in test cricket now. It's just like there's no job that Australia won't give Travis Head. And when you watch him play, it really is. It doesn't matter if it's pace or spin. His ability to hit 4s and 6s consistently is probably the highest level of anyone in the world.
And yes, I was going to give you that stat, Andy. I mean, obviously, Jarrod will know it, but it was a world record for runs scored in a power play power inside.
He took England down in the group game in the World Cup.
113 for 1 in 6 overs. They did Marsh and hit Travis Head. Wow.
And they broke the world record like early in the power play as well after a bad start. So it was really that period in the middle. And Scotland have got a decent side. They play some good cricket at times in that series. This wasn't just easy beats. And to be honest, though, Travis Head's been doing it everywhere. Like, do you remember the World Test Championship final against India last year at the Oval? He did it there. Obviously, absolutely blitzed at times in the World Cup. And I think the big difference before was he could hit a bunch of boundaries if you bowled a bunch of bad balls to him. Now he doesn't seem to notice the bowler anymore. And when you get to that sort of level as a T20 player and a one-day player, it's very dangerous for the bowlers.
And it's back to where it all started. We were saying earlier on, Andy and I, we broadcast for talkSPORT back in 2005 from that first ever T20 international when England played Australia and England won.
It's a good game.
Back at the Rose Bowl.
This afternoon.
Yeah, it was. We had a chat with Adam Gilchrist that day, didn't we? Yeah,
yeah.
So it's back to where it all started.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what is going to happen with Hampshire cricket going forward. Obviously, private ownership and everything. I suppose they've had private ownership before, but foreign interest and everything else. But look, I remember that game. If I'm not mistaken, that might have been. Was it John Lewis might have been bowling in that game, or it was one of those games against Gilchrist, and Gilchrist was on microphone for one of them, telling everyone what a good bowler John Lewis was before he deposited him in the stands. I think we knew we were entering a different era when batters were being, talking on the ground, and things have come a long way, and now T20 cricket within 5 to 10 years could be the predominant form of cricket going forward.
Yeah, you forget people were sceptical that it would ever really take off.
That would be a shame if that was the case. But you're not wrong.
Enjoy the game, Jarrod. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
Jarrod Kimber there, one of our top team, bringing you our cricket coverage here on talkSPORT. I think it's a 6:30 start, so we'll have all the information from around 6. I'm sure John Norman will be popping up with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. We'll keep an eye on that for you during kick-off as well.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.